Shulam and Barucha. Let's learn a bit of Parshas Toldos. Fascinating insights into the future of Klal Yisrael. So it's a well-known question that Chazal ask on this particular Parsha in regard to the matter of how Hashem arranged that Yitzchak Avinu's broches, blessings, were given to his son Yaakov. There's a whole rigmarole that's going on. Yaakov only being able to receive these special broches through a seemingly deceptive manner. Why did Yitzchak have to think he is giving a brocha to his wayward son Esau when these blessings were truly meant for Yaakov? So the Rabbi Itche of Vurke says like this. He says he has a very moving explanation. So the Rebbe says that these brochas weren't only meant for Yaakov Avinu, but for his children, his children's children, and all the further generations, bis the Mashiach had come. So if the blessings would have gone directly from Yitzchak to Yaakov, then those brochas would have been tailored specifically for Yaakov. Yaakov, who was a tzaddik and was sinless. If that would have been the case, then those brochas would never be able to fall upon any of the children and the children's children who weren't tzaddikim as well. There would be brochas for tzaddikim. That's why the whole pantomime had to take place, so that Yitzchak would give the brochas for someone who he thought was Esau, who he knew was a wayward child, that one that was not so righteous. In this way, future generations, even the Jewish neshama that may chas v'shalom stray a bit from the path, will still have the ability to tap into those brochas that were eternal, that came from Yitzchak Avinu. No matter how far a Jew would slide, we would always eternally be worthy of those unique brochas. This then is why the whole scene was set up by Kaviyucha Hashem, so that the great tzaddik Yitzchak would give his brochas not merely to the righteous of his future generations, but more uniquely to those who may stray off the path. Our generation certainly is in need of all these kinds of brochas. No one can be certain of anything today. Even our seemingly steadfast young sometimes fall. And it is these brochas that will help them come back together again. Let me tell you a maaseh. After the Churban of Europe, the shayros applied to the remnants of the Jewish nation gathered to piece together the broken lives. And there were some great heroes at that time, one of which was the famous Rav Gadol Eisner in Ger. Rav Gadol worked tirelessly to heal the broken, the wounded, all those neshamalach of the Chavarim that had shared his life before in Ger, before the war. He was the Mishkiach in Yeshiva Chedisha Rim in Tel Aviv, and he was a key to healing of so many. One young man who had before the war been a Ger Chosid, who came to Ger, right? He gave up his whole Yiddishkeit after the Mechumah. He was broken after years of suffering that he experienced in the death camps. He just couldn't be bothered anymore. Reb Gadol tracked him down and invited him regularly to visit and to have shmuzin. This fellow really was angry. He was so angry. So he would sit at this feierdige chassidische Gerechus, this machanach, with no head covering, right? And he would bring with him tray for food. Nothing faced Reb Gadol. Reb Gadol didn't say a word. He would schmooze of the times past, of the Gitterzaten, and he would hope for the future with this boy. One day, the fellow came in, and he tells Reb Gadol that he became a chosen. He got engaged. Mazel tov, mazel tov. Who's the kala? A non-Jewish girl. Reb Gadol gives a look. He frowned and he shook his head. A Hasidic bocha with a non-Jewish girl. It's not possible. It's not suitable. It's not a worthy shidduch for a bocha like you. The young man looked into Reb Gadol's eyes, and all the sadness, all the brokenness that was in him started to rise up. He said, Rebbe, I'm not a chosid. You saw me eating treif. No, you're wrong. You are a Hasidic bocha. You're just a bit lost. But you will come back soon. We've all been a bit lost. Some of us take time, more time than others, to come back. It hasn't been easy. And some of you, you're taking a bit longer. But you are, that's who you are. Young man fell on the ground with rivers of tränen, of tears. And he finally, his neshama connected. He cried out, Reb Gadol, please, buy me a Hasidische kaplish, a Hasidische hat. Please, now. We all get lost sometimes. We try, but when we're often stumbling around. The Vorke Tzaddik tells us that the brachas of Yitzchak Avinu are our brachas as well. The kids who are broken by any number of things, they too receive those brachas. Our lives are lived precariously. Nothing is certain, but no one is as he seems. We're all complicated. The Heilige Ishbitzer Rebbe used to say, people are complicated. The world is complicated. And more than anything else, Kaviyuchel, the Eibishter Hashem, is complicated. Yet, we have betochen and amunah. And that is the most complicated matter of all. After all these years, all these thousands of years, we still have betochen. This seems to be a riddle, but it's extremely deep. We are all complicated. Humans work on so many different levels. And you can never really know where anyone is or where they are coming from, even your own self sometimes. Where did that come from? We each are driven by so many different levels that it's almost impossible that we should know our own selves. The same is about the world around us. I mean, from nowhere, people got sick, and now we have this pandemic. What's that all about? Huh? So many variants, so many concurrent challenges. Not one factor can bring them all together. Not even today's wondrous computers have any of the answers. With all this comes the most difficult matter of all. The oneness, Ein Oid Mevadoi, the oneness of Hashem Kaviyuchel, and the truth of the Torah path. Books may be written. Scholars can scratch their heads. Hashem's oneness follows no human rule and are a mystery that even Moshe Rabbeinu could not fully understand. So what keeps us going? What gives the Yid the where with all of it to grow? It's the brachas of Yitzchak and all the others before that. Their love was complicated. And thus perfect fit for their complicated generations. May these brachas, may these blessings find their spark in each one of us and bring us strength and the ability to grow and to flourish. And more than anything, we should never give up on anybody, especially not ourselves. And Psilas Tavis B'Tishi is called Tov. Thank you for listening.